This week, Pokemon Company is going to be releasing their first ever paid downloadable content for a mainline Pokemon game. And it's going to be for Pokemon Sword and Shield. If you own the expansion pass, part 1 of their download package is referred to as the Isle of Armor. And today, we're going to be taking a look at when exactly the release time of your Isle of Armor DLC is going to be coming to your Nintendo Switch. The hype for Pokemon Sword and Shield is slowly being resurrected as we are getting closer and closer to DLC 1, the Isle of Armor, as we have a small amount of very uncredible 4chan posts talking about leaks and rumors for the game that have no credibility whatsoever. As you probably saw in the title, this is going to be speculation. We do not have a definitive time yet. I personally believe we are going to be getting a release time. And when that time happens, I'm going to be letting you know. We have a few very good educated guesses, and they're based on several things. And before we dive into that, you have to realize that there are 3 updates that we are looking for. Because if you have the downloadable content, but you don't have the Pokemon Sword and Shield firmware to support the downloadable content, well then you can't run it. In addition, Pokemon Home requires to be updated to support the new Pokemon that are going to be transferable to Pokemon Sword and Shield. The 100 returning Pokemon, Urshifu, Cubfu, and Galarian Slowpoke, Slowbro, and a few others that we can presume will be in the DLC, right? So this 3-headed dragon that we're looking at is Pokemon Sword and Shield firmware needs to be updated. We're currently on version 1.1.1, so following Nintendo's DLC firmware naming scheme, this could be version 1.2 or version 1.5. We also require the actual DLC itself to be downloadable. And this is, you can pre-purchase it, but you can't preload it at this time. That may change in the future, although it's very unlikely. And then the third aspect of that is Pokemon Home. Now, if Pokemon Home were to not support the Pokemon that are coming out, people who don't own the DLC wouldn't be able to transfer their Pokemon for a period of time. However, we do have some information on that. Now, Sarah B tweeted out that the Pokemon Company has announced that Pokemon Home is going to be going down on both the Switch and the mobile platform on Wednesday, June 17th at 9 a.m. UTC until 1400 UTC. A new patch will be required to use it afterward. Now, while I don't think this is going to be the Pokemon Go integration, I do believe that this is going to be the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC Part 1 update. I mean, that's a long time for it to be down. For all we know, it may be the update that includes Pokemon Home integration, but I'm sure we're going to hear about that before Wednesday rolls around, right? Doing some simple time zone conversions, we can figure that that is going to be a time period on the East Coast of the United States from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. and on the West Coast from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. While that does suck for Japan that, you know, it's going to be active at 2 p.m., here in America at 10 a.m., we're going to be ready to go. Looking back to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which had DLC and has never had DLC in the past, that was available at midnight Eastern Time on its release day and 9 p.m. Pacific. So it went by the first available hour available in our country, and then the West Coast, they got that 3 hours ahead of time at 9 p.m., which is nice for them. Anytime that we've had a Pokemon Raid Den update, it's been at midnight UTC time, which has actually been 8 p.m. the night before here on the East Coast and 5 p.m. on the West Coast. For all we know, this could be synonymous with the time that the DLC and the update are going to be available. Alternatively, they could choose to stagger these updates, meaning that Pokemon Home and the firmware are going to be released and then the DLC, which may be a little bit easier on the servers. All in all, what I'm saying is it's extremely unlikely, hang on, go to the full face, extremely unlikely that the DLC is going to be available midnight your local time, unless there's a time zone that figures in to be midnight instead of 1400. I don't know. But extremely unlikely that it's going to be midnight local time. I could be completely wrong. And you know what? I'm going to keep on top of this news, and when I have an update, I'm going to update you on what it is. And if you want to stay up to date with Pokemon DLC information, I recommend subscribing to this channel. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. Until next time, Austin John out.